Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be going through PSLE 2022 question number 38. I have readapted it into this question. So Fiona bicycle has a flat tire as shown in diagram 1. So the tire is flat. Then after Fiona pump air into the tire, it becomes fully inflated, okay, as shown in diagram 2. Which properties, okay, it's plural, that means there's more than one property of air does this show? So you have four main properties of air: has mass, occupies space. This is trying to tell you that air is a matter. Okay, then other than that, you have the property of gases. Property of gases. So between these four property, having mass, occupying space, no definite volume, no definite shape, you have to choose the one that best fit into 1 and 2. Okay, so let me show you the original question. The original question really looks something like this. Okay, it's the same thing, but instead of choosing the option, now you have to write it out. Okay, so definitely there is one property that is being shown. Okay, the first one is air occupies space. This one definitely shown. Okay, because over here is flat. It's flat. Then when you pump more air in, the tire become fully inflated as shown over here. So the air must have take up some of the space. Okay, some of the space in the tire that cause the tire to change shape. Okay, the tire become increase in volume, right? It's a property of air occupied space being shown from diagram 1 and 2. So you have to compare between 1 and 2. How is it being changed? So the tire in diagram 1 is flat. So after pumping in, right, the tire inflate in diagram 2. This shows you this property. If air does not occupy space, that means the tire and shape and volume, right, they will remain the same. The diagram 2 will become the same as diagram 1. It will still be inflated even after you pump air. So this one definitely is shown. Okay, so another thing that is shown is air has no definite shape. Okay, so because in this case, if you take a look at diagram 1, the original shape of tire is this. Okay, after you pump air, it takes the shape of the tire. It becomes slightly a bit rounder. This one is more flat. This one is rounder. So that air might take up the space within the tire to make it to change its shape into the shape of an inflated tire. So in this case, air take up the shape of the tire once it's pumped in. This demonstrates that air take up the shape of the tire. In this case, it's the container, the inner space of in this case will be the inner space of the tire, not a container. So in this case, B and C is being shown. So what is more difficult is what is not being shown. Okay? The one that is not being shown is definitely this. Okay? Air has mass. Because if this is being shown, then you need a weighing scale. Okay? Typically, if you want to show the air has mass, it should be something like this. Okay? Okay, it should be something like this, right? You have an inflated balloon. Okay, then after that you deflate one of the balloon, it becomes something like this. You deflate one of deflate, right? Then this is still inflated. This inflated balloon. This is deflated. Then this shows you that air has mass. Okay, because this one have both the balloon and air. This one got no air. And the one that's no air is lighter. Okay, so this tells you that air has mass. So in this case, this setup doesn't show you the air has mass, even though air has mass, but this setup does not show you that. Okay, another thing that I think most people confuse is the idea of having no definite volume. Okay, this is not shown over here. Okay, why is it not shown? Because the air has no definite volume. It means that air can change its volume, and it can kind of squeeze into smaller space or extend to fill a larger space. Okay, so in this case, 1 has a flat tire, 2, the tire is getting bigger after being pumped, right? This shows you that air occupies space and it can expand, but it does not show you that air can be reduced in volume. So it does not show you the change in volume even after you pump in more air. So there is really no part in the diagram that shows you that the air contained in the tire, right? Okay, or contained in the same space, right, being made smaller. So this idea is not being demonstrated. Okay, how is how is air having no definite volume being demonstrated, right? It's related to the next question. It's something like this. Okay, something like this. So when you have diagram 2, you continue to pump air. Okay, you continue to pump air, then it show you maybe diagram 3. Okay, the tire is fully inflated. Tire is fully inflated. I continue to pump air. The tire did not change in shape. It still remains fully inflated. This tells you that air has no definite volume. That means that no matter how much air I pump, it will still occupy the same amount of space. It will still occupy the same amount. Still have the same volume. So in this case, if this case if it's being shown, it has air. Air has no definite volume. Okay, if this is being shown, okay, over here. Okay, so in this case, we more or less already addressed the answer B and C. So if you were to take a look at this question, so it will be air occupies space, state 2 property, right? Air occupies space. Okay, air occupies space, and air has no definite shape. Okay, this is over here. Okay, these are the 2 property. So in the previous year, I think the publisher came out with this answer. This was initially the answer. Okay, air occupies space and exert pressure. Okay, the idea of pressure in this case it's not a term we will use in primary school science. So this is actually not a good answer lah, even though it may be true. Okay, so after some time, they actually changed to another form of answer. So this is more of correct answer. This from the publisher. It take up the it should be air take up the shape of its tire. Okay, in this case, not really container. That's not really okay, but this should be the correct answer. So let's move on to the next question of the follow-up questions. Okay, so this is, as I explained, the tire here is fully inflated, but Ahmad continue to pump air in. So this should show you that air has no definite volume. So this is a case of how no definite volume is being shown here. Okay, whereas for the question it will be B and C. Okay, air occupies space, no definite volume. So this is number 2. Okay, okay, with that we are more or less done with this question. So let me just zoom in up over here. Okay, let me zoom it up so that you can take a screenshot if you wish to. Okay, this is one, this is another one. Okay, thank you very much.